Hi, I'm Fed.
Hi, I'm Rice, and today we're going to be discussing composite design, which is one of the structural design patterns.
So, we start off with what motivated this design pattern to come about with a problem. Suppose that a client wants to do a method to two components having similar traits but a lot of differences, such as family members and packages. To be more understandable, suppose that this situation came about. A client wants to send a greeting card to his mother and his father, which are both their parents, but a little different from each other due to traits such as gender. We must create a solution to make this so that the client don't need to specify a lot more traits in redundant processes just so she can send separate greeting cards to his mother and his father. So, let's ask Gudetama with what he thinks the solution would be to this problem that the client has. First, he says that we need to define a common interface to manage children and call the methods. Second, he says that we need to implement composites to forward call to children. And the third one is to implement leaves to directly execute method calls. We can further understand Gudetama if we visualize the solution he is proposing, right? So let's go with it. The first bullet says that we need to define a common interface to manage children and call the methods. So here, the client directly sees the interface. This is one large container, and let's just suppose that this could be the send greeting card command. The second bullet says that it should also implement composites to forward call to children. So the interface is like the composites of all composites, and these composites are like mini managers that has subordinates to command 2. And we will further understand that once we go to the leaf. So the third is to implement leaves to directly execute the method calls. So what is a leaf? A leaf is basically the bottommost part of the hierarchy, whereas they don't have subordinates like composites do. An interface, the first box that the client sees, could also just be directly linked to the leaf. And we will see more of those examples later on. Now, let's further explain this basic structure that we came up with. So, the client works with all the elements through the component interface, enabling it to work uniformly with simple or complex elements of the tree. So, the clients are the users that use the app and send commands to the program that we're trying to execute. The interface describes operations that are common to both simple and complex elements of the trees. If you are done with object-oriented programming, you might be very familiar with interfaces. Interfaces are basically a template that prevents redundancy in coding. The container, also known as composite, is an element that has sub-elements, leaves, or other containers, and it works with all sub-elements only via component interface. Now, the composite, kagaya nga ng sinabi ko kanina, ay parang manager na siyang nagbibigay ng utos ng client sa kanyang mga nasasakupan. Ngayon, ang leaf naman, ang pinakahuling dinadaanan ng utos na galing sa kliyente natin. So, it is a basic element of a tree that doesn't have sub-elements and usually does the work. Life. So, to sum it all up, composite design is a structural design with the intent to compose objects into tree structures to represent part-whole hierarchies, and composite design lets clients treat individual objects and compositions of objects uniformly. Ito ay sinabi ng Gang of Four na si Gamma, Helm, Johnson, at Blesides. So, itong Gang of Four na to, sila talaga ang pinakauna na nag-identify ng mga design patterns. Kaya makikita nyo na medyo matagal na rin nung simula nung na-publish ang kanilang libro, 1997 pa.
So to further explain how composite design patterns work, we're going to be showing an example of an implementation of the composite structural pattern using a simple shopping scenario. So, dito sa sitwasyon na to, ang kliyente ay magsisilbi na nag-order sa isang online shop at meron siyang package na nagko-contain ng isang package ulit na may hammer at isang package na may dalawa pang package sa loob na nagko-contain ng phone, headphones, at yung isa ay charger. Tapos meron namang isa na
Parang leaf class lang yan. Parang leaf.
parang glass lang, receipt. So, parang masasabi natin na ito ay isang order chain, yung isa ay isang full-blown composite tray talaga, at ang isa ay directly agad.
Mhm.
So, Ted, ikaw nang bahala sa
Okay.
susunod na part.
Ayan, thank you, Rice. As a quick recap, maaalala natin na kung gustong i-access ng isang client or ng isang programmer ang isang method mula sa isang component, then ang usual na ginagawa is tatawagin niya lang yung method na yun from that component using the dot syntax. Sa parang paraan, kung mas maraming component, tatawagin niya lang yung method from each corresponding component independently, wherein nakita rin natin na mas madali kung gagamit tayo ng recursion. Dito rin natin na natalakay yung concept or yung tanong na paano ba natin matitreat ang simple and complex objects sa isang tree-like structure in the same way. So, which is answered by the concept of interface, wherein kailangan natin ma-identify kung ano ba yung method na common sa dalawang yon na sa both leaf and the composite class. So, bumalik tayo sa example na simple shopping scenario for our code sample. Imagine natin na, or ikaw ay isang customer na nag-order ng maraming items and then darating na ngayong araw yung package. Then just imagine na kunwari yung package na yun ay maraming laman. Pwede siyang maglaman ng mas maliliit pang boxes na maglalaman ulit ng mga set of products. Ibig sabihin, meron tayong isang common method na pwedeng gawin sa lahat ng laman ng package na yun, which is to unwrap. Pwede natin buksan lahat ng yun isa-isa. So, i-declare natin yung method na unwrap sa interface natin, sa package. And then, yung unwrap na yun ay i-implement ng both leaf and composite. Ngayon, para mas malinaw, isipin na lang natin na ang leaf or leaf class ay yung specific product na in-order natin. Meaning, wala siyang sub-element. Yun yung pinaka-basic element, yung specific product na in-order. While for a composite class, which is shown on the right, ay pwede siya yung smaller box na laman nung package na maglalaman pa ng other set of products. So, it's like a composition. So, mas marami pa siyang laman and it has sub-elements. Pagtuunan natin ng pansin muna yung leaf class. So, let's focus on the left side. And then, makikita natin na meron siyang own implementation of the unwrap, which is just to display kung ano ba yung product na yun, specific product na yun. And then, for a composite class, since nabanggit ko na it contains sub-elements, dapat meron tayong paraan para ma-handle, ma-store, at ma-access yung mga sub-elements niya. So, pwede natin yung gawin using an array or array list, say package of item. And we also have to have yung add and remove method. So, pwede tayong magdagdag or magbawas ng mga sub-elements. So, for the unwrap method naman, meron din siyang sariling implementation wherein, in contrary to the leaf class, sa composite class, ang unwrap ay gumagamit ng recursion, which is usually the case kapag sa composite class. So, tinatraverse nilang lahat ng content ng composite class using recursion. So, tinatraverse nila lahat ng sub-elements and then kinocall niya yung unwrap method. So, mas madali niyang ma-access lahat ng mga sub-elements. So, given that we have discussed yung interface, yung leaf at yung composite, tumungo naman tayo sa last component of the structure na nabanggit ni Rice, which is yung client or the client code. Dito na na-integrate yung leaf and the composite class using the method from the interface. So, pwede natin yung gawin by, let's say, create natin yung own package natin for ourselves. So, gumawa tayo, for example, ng box and then smaller box. So, ang ginagawa natin dito ay gumagawa tayo ng composite. Since yung box at smaller box ay essentially may capacity to store sub-elements using array. So, select set of code, which is yung item 1 and item 2. So, these are the leaf or the leaf classes. So, these are the specific products. For example, ang item 1 ay mechanical keyboard, and then yung item 2 ay ang lamp. So, try natin ilagay yung item 1, which is yung keyboard, doon sa box. And then yung item 2 naman, which is yung lamp, doon sa loob ng smaller box. So, makikita natin na yung smaller box ay laman niya na ngayon yung lamp. And then yung smaller box na to, which contains the lamp, ilagay naman ulit natin siya doon sa box. So, makikita na natin visually or you can imagine a tree-like structure. So, sa box, nilagay na natin yung smaller box, which contains the item 2. And in addition to that, box originally contains item 1. So, meron siyang maraming component. So, sa last line of code, dito na natin ina-unwrap yung entire package. So, pwede natin i-consider yung box dito na siya yung entire package containing all of the content. So, ang ginagawa niya dito is ini-enable niya na matreat yung simple or yung leaf and composite class uniformly. Ibig sabihin, mas madali niya na ma-handle yung simple and complex objects na nasa tree kasi meron na siyang common method to all of them, which is yung unwrap. So, ang gagawin na lang is to use recursion in that box, use recursion in its content, and then i-unwrap niya lahat ng laman nun. So, our expected output is unwrapped item is mechanical keyboard, and then unwrapped item is lamp. So, dito natin makikita yung kung paano gumagana ang composite structural pattern on implementation level. So, we don't really have to know kung simple or complex object ba yung hinahandle nung specific object dahil meron tayong common interface na ginagamit.
Kapag ginamit mo siya sa composite, matutulungan ka na gawing complex composite ang yung simple composite. Nasa-traverse niya ang composite. Ang visitor naman ay tinutulungan na ma-execute ang ating composite design pattern. Responsibility naman ay may chain, hindi dahil yun ang pangalan niya, ngunit ang chain of responsibility ay lagi talagang kaakibat ng composite sa mga ginagawa na sa lahat ng composite at ang decorator, parang silang gumagamit ng recursive structure. Diba? Ang structural design patterns na ito ay magkaiba lang ng kaunti pero napakaraming pagkakatulad. Dahil parang sila halos, parang din sila na magbe-benepisyo sa paggamit ng prototype. So, mahin natin ang composite structural design. Ito yun. At narito ang aming mga reference.
So that's it, guys. Ayun na ang aming munting video tungkol sa composite design patterns. Sana ay may natutunan kayo mula sa amin. Muli, ako si Rice.
At ako si Fed. Salamat sa pakikinig.
Paalam!